So yeah, I wasn't expecting this either. About a week ago, Nintendo of Hong Kong announced that a Kirby 30th anniversary pop-up store was opening in Hong Kong. That stuff usually only happens in Japan, and although it's probably not as grand in scope as those, it's still rare to see an official outlet for Kirby merch in Hong Kong, as only a handful of stuff is normally imported from Japan and sold in generic toy stores. So I'm going to be paying it a quick visit in this video and perhaps score some merch. And for those interested in the details, this place is located at the K11 Art Mall in Tsim Sha Tsui, running from February 17, 2023 to March 19th. So I head on over the other day. It's just a small enclosed space in the middle of an atrium, and I think, oh, there's quite a few people, but the line's not so bad. No, it turns out there's an outdoor section of the line that's way too long. I started at the beginning, the line got 1/3 longer behind me, and in the end I waited for 1.5 hours. Granted, I came in on day 2, but it's still a little ridiculous. I saw several parents and their children bail the line halfway through. Anyway, you get handed a bunch of brochures to read through. We'll go over those after the tour. A little more waiting once you're indoors, and we're finally in. So let's start from the left side and see what we have here. On both ends of the store, there's a display stacked with different Kirby plushes and figures. We'll see more of those later, but this classic Kirby figure here caught my eye. You can't go wrong with classic Kirby. Over here we have some tiny erasers that you can pick and choose to fill up a small bottle with. Up at the top we have a few displays of larger plushes, including this very big Car-Mouth Kirby and Pipe-Mouth Kirby. These are incredible. We'll see more of the mouthful mode plushes in a bit too, but like this Pipe-Mouth, I just want to pick it up and bonk someone with it. Starting from the shelf on the very left, we have a couple of household accessories like towels, eye masks, cleaning tools, and hair clips. The standouts here are definitely these small towels with pixel art from Kirby's Adventure, which look absolutely gorgeous. Out of the stuff I didn't buy this time around, this is one of the few I probably would have gotten on second thought. These designs down here also look very neat. Kirby has had a ton of different merch series over in Japan, but sadly not all of them are present here. It's still just super cool to see them in like an official Hong Kong store. Over here we have some stationery and simple craft related stuff, nothing too crazy over here. There's a tiny stand if you want to hold things, and a couple of folders. If you love stickers, this section has a ton of them themed to the 30th anniversary. Shoutouts in particular to Shocked Kirby and Kirby Wanting a Kiss, the two moods of all time. And over here we have a few coin purses that are very fluffy. It's like Kirby has fur, and I don't want to think about that. Next up is what I'd classify as the toy section. We have a bunch of jigsaw puzzles, this Kirby figure that has one of those pull back and release mechanisms, some anniversary themed toy medals, and generally the small figures that you'd normally find in toy stores here, and some miscellaneous things on the bottom should you want a Kirby themed plastic basket of all things. Later on I also noticed they used to have the 30th anniversary Nendoroid in stock, so yeah, it makes sense that it's already gone. Then we have the small plushes and figures section, which is very popular apparently, especially the keychain ones. There's like lots of people huddling around them. There's apparently a Magolor keychain plush, but that was apparently already out of stock when I got there. I totally would have gotten one if it wasn't though. These are some large Kirby, Magolor, and Waddle Dee plushes right here, and they are incredibly soft, like literally hugging size. For only 888 Hong Kong dollars, you can have this gigantic Kirby plush. If only I had the room for this one. And down here we have the regular plush assortment, you know the ones. I don't think this is all of the recent ones, but there is still quite a decent selection here, including some of the new 30th anniversary ones, like one with Kine, and the other is Air Ride related, I believe. Some of the 30th anniversary plushes, like these classic Kirby and Waddle Dees, while super cool, they're still a bit pricier than the regular plushes though. But here we have the mouthful mode plushes, and oh man, this ring mouth is a mirror, which is genius. VLC Kirby was a real contender for me to pick up as well. Like, these are all mostly the same price, which made it hard for me to pick between VLC Kirby and Vending Mouth Kirby, but you'll see what I picked out at the end. And lastly, in the plush section, we have an assortment of enemies and creatures. We got Chef Kawasaki, Mr. Frosty, Wispy Woods, the Roach, and even the Woofies and Elfilin. Pretty cool. Of course, you can't have a Kirby shop without Switch games and accessories, so we've got a bunch of Kirby-themed controllers, cases, and even amiibo. There's all of the Kirby Switch games on display, and there's 2 demo kiosks, one with the other Kirby games, and one with Return to Dreamland Deluxe. And of course, if you want to buy a Switch to play these games on right then and there, yes, you can do that too. And that's a general quick look at what's around the store. Obviously, I probably didn't show off every product that they have, but hopefully that was still a decent look. And while I was browsing around, I found a few more things originally out of stock that some folks have put back on the shelves, like these stackable figures here. Here's my haul, I'll show it later in a bit. And over here near the exit, you can take a survey and get the chance to spin the Scotch machine once for a free stress ball. And here's what I got. Cool face. Anyway, I'm almost done with my visit, but one thing I've neglected to mention till now is this giant Kirby in front of the entrance. It's super cool, but I don't know, plenty of people are gathering around it. I don't know if I really want to take a photo with it. Alright, we're back here at my desk, so let's just quickly go over what I got. First off are the freebies. You have the usual promotional booklets and brochures for Kirby's Anniversary and Switch games. There's this tiny little book for Forgotten Land, and here we have a list of freebies that you can get for certain stuff you do or buy at the store. So every attendee gets a free sticker, which is nice. For any purchase in the store, you get an A6 size folder. I don't know how many A6 sized things you'd normally have lying around to store in one of these, but still cool. As I mentioned earlier, for taking a survey near the exit of the store, you get one of these squeezable Kirby stress balls. And for sharing a photo of the giant Kirby on social media, you get this paper hat. This one I have here hasn't been folded yet, but you can probably guess how it would look. I saw like multiple kids wearing these while I was there. And finally, if you spend at least 600 Hong Kong dollars, you get a free tote bag. Pretty simple design, but you know, I like that they're not super flashy, it's very nice. The only freebie I didn't get was an acrylic stand for purchasing any Switch hardware or software. Okay, onto the things I actually bought. So as I said, I needed some classic Kirby stuff, and this figure definitely satiates that need. It's pretty decently well made, and honestly with that tag, you probably could have mistaken it for some early 90s Kirby's Adventure merch instead. Next up, the one regular sized plush I got is everyone's favorite Depression Spider from Triple Deluxe. It was slightly pricier than the other plushes. In fact, I think it might be one of the priciest of the regular size plushes, but that might have something to do with this one having a bit of a complex design compared to the others. It is still very high quality though. I think Taranza is like one of the more underrated Kirby characters out there. I said that I wanted to get at least one of the Malfoy mode plushes, and turns out I almost missed out on seeing this one because there were barely any in stock. So this is a smaller version of the Carmouth plush that's cheaper than the others, but get this, it has one of those pull cords on the back that makes it vibrate. Which is like a perfect match for this. I'm so glad they made it. Look at it go, it's great. Of course you can't commemorate an anniversary without a pin, so I picked up one of these for collection purposes. I think they also ran out of stock afterwards, so yeah. And finally, this is something I didn't see my first time around, but then someone placed one back on the shelves. I've heard of these quote-unquote stackable Kirby figures before, so let's see how stackable these really are. And turns out it's quite difficult. I mean, there's sample pics on the back of the box, but like, dear lord, these feel like they require inhuman patience. Even just balancing the star rod on Kirby here is a pain. But hey, at least the figures are still nice to decorate stuff with on their own. And that's everything I got from this trip to the Kirby pop-up store. This thing's open until March 19, so I'm definitely gonna be making a second trip there in the future to perhaps see some things I missed. And I hope you enjoyed this quick look if you're not in Hong Kong. Hopefully Kirby pop-up stores are something they'll do in even more places. And even the survey I did back there mentioned pop-up stores based on other Nintendo IP being a possibility, like Mario, Zelda, or Animal Crossing. So yeah, seeing the popularity of this place here, I do hope they continue this trend. Maybe even bring the Kirby Cafe over, but that's way too wishful thinking. Probably. Still, visiting the store was a fun experience, but if I gotta be honest, nothing will beat that mouthful of backpack cover they made as a Hong Kong pre-order bonus for Forgotten Land.